Every single basic foundation of being a good skier is based around making a good turn.
We created a full sidewall ski with Tetanol in it for carving and hardpack performance, unlike anything that's ever been in the line before.
Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from SkiEssentials.com. Welcome back to my basement here in Morrisville, Vermont. We're here to talk about another 2021 ski. As you saw in that introduction, Armada has a new line of skis called Declivity. Pretty exciting stuff. We'll get to that in a moment. Before that, we hope you're just all staying as safe and healthy and happy as possible, like we talked about last time. A lot of people are wondering what they can do to help. We got in touch, or we're working with an organization called Goggles for Docs. That's basically getting goggles to hospitals to use as eye protection. So I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video. You can actually, hospitals can go on and register themselves and say, hey, we need this many pairs. So you can actually look through a whole bunch of different spreadsheets of what hospitals need, where those hospitals are located, stuff like that. So I'll leave that link in the description of this video, like I said. If you follow us on social media, chances are you saw that already. But a great thing to do if you've got some extra goggles. They can use used goggles too. They just disinfect them when they get there, and they work. So something to keep in mind if you're at home kind of wondering what you can do to help as skiers or snowboarders too. That's something that we can do to help. So that's it for now. Now on to this Armada Declivity 92. Really exciting ski. I think this ski is awesome. I think the whole line is really awesome. When I was in Denver for Outdoor Retailer, the trade show, I did a little interview with Matt Ream, who's kind of, one of the guys in charge of developing new products for Armada. That interview is about 5 minutes long, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that at the end of this video. If you want to watch kind of an interview with Matt about the Declivity line in general, that'll be at the end of the video. The audio isn't super polished. Basically, the Armada booth is in a spot at Outdoor Retailer that's generally pretty loud. So I did my best with audio when I was there and tried a few different things and gave you the best audio I could. So that interview is at the end if you want to watch that. Matt's a really cool guy. I really enjoyed chatting with him about the ski. And that's it. So Declivity 92, 92 underfoot. Obviously, this is a directional ski, which is not something that as history would tell us, is not something that we typically get from Armada, although we are more and more kind of as the company grows and as its skiers and customers grow with it. So this is 92 underfoot directional ski. It's got a Karuba wood core, which is a very lightweight wood core. It's 15 to 20% lighter than Poplar with relatively similar performance characteristics. And then 2 sheets of metal in this ski. So that's kind of a big deal for a company like Armada to have a directional ski in this width range that's got 2 sheets of metal. They're throwing this ski into a category with some pretty heavy hitters and solid contenders. But they do it. Basically, what Armada kind of says and what their mission was to do it with kind of Armada's flair. So what's really cool about this ski is they use something called articulated Titanol banding. Essentially, if you imagine the sheet of Titanol in the ski, in the forebody of the ski, there's basically strips of material that are removed, and where there's not metal, they use an elastic compound that kind of sits in between there. So what that's designed to do is it's actually designed to let the ski kind of articulate a little bit. It's actually allowing the tip of the ski to twist more than the mid body of the ski. Essentially, they're taking away torsional stiffness, and it's cool. I feel like we've talked about that we've had that conversation before, not necessarily with Armada, but the benefit of having a little bit less torsional stiffness in the tip to help you get into a turn, and then a solid ski underfoot to hold on to that turn. And I think that's a really good way to think about these skis. I had a blast skiing them. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Armada, for sending this particular pair. I got to mount it with an STH13, which was great. We test a lot of skis with demo bindings, and not that demo bindings are particularly bad, but anytime I can get a non-demo binding to test a ski, that's awesome. So I had a lot of fun testing these, and I'll genuinely and honestly say that it's a really valuable addition to this category of skis in general, because they do feel a little bit different. If you've skied Stowe before, we've got some really cool terrain. Skiing Stowe wasn't the first time I got to ski these. I got to ski them at some industry demo days and stuff like that. But often I really don't feel like I get to truly test a ski until I kind of have it at my home mountain, partly because Stowe is pretty steep and pretty direct. My first run at Stowe, I took them down Hayride. If you're familiar with Hayride, it's kind of an old race trail. It's got a lot of rolls to it. It's actually been widened over the years, so now it's really wide, and it's a great trail for testing a ski like this. On the way to Hayride, you get to ski a bit of a cruiser, intermediate trail called Lord. So that was kind of my first thoughts on this ski, was cruising down Lord, and because the way that they designed the construction and the tip and the shape of it, it's got some slight tip rocker, not a ton, and then some nice kind of smooth, subtle early taper too. Because of that and the kind of moderate flex pattern, it's not like outrageously stiff. You can make really, really satisfying turns on moderately pitched slopes, which is really fun. And then as I kind of tip them down Hayride, that's where you start generating some speed, and the skis are really, really good. So, like that tip, it does help you initiate a turn, but you really are loading up a lot of energy in the ski, with that elastic compound, and also just with the flex pattern. You can really get these skis to flex when you're in a carving turn, and it's a super satisfying feel, just initiating or linking carving turns rather, and kind of just keeping that railroad track style turn. And I had a blast doing that down Hayride. Just super, super fun. They're for how light they are, they're really stable. It's an impressive blend of feeling lightweight on your feet, but also smooth and stable. And kind of like I was saying, it's got that shock absorber feel. After that, I went and skied Liftline. Liftline kind of is taking it up a notch from Hayride, so to speak. On Liftline, it's one of the most direct trails that I've really ever skied. It's almost 2,000 vertical feet, and it's just straight down the mountain. You can knock off a couple thousand vertical feet in like 60 seconds if you're up for it. And that was a really good thing to do on these skis too, because you gotta be a really, really good skier to truly link carves all the way down Liftline. It's something that I have done, I guess, but I don't necessarily feel comfortable doing so, because you get going really fast unless you have a super short turn radius or something like that. So what I liked about taking these onto Liftline is I got to play around with the edge release, and that's one of the ideas behind this ski. The idea of this ski is to make good turns. And that can mean a lot of different things. It doesn't always necessarily, or in my mind, that doesn't always necessarily mean just perfect carves all the time. And this ski will let you kind of blend your turns between carves with a little bit of skidding in them really easily. And I think a lot of people, that's how I see most people skiing something like Liftline, is they're not necessarily leaving railroad tracks. They are carving a little bit, but it's more of a skidded carve. They do that really well. And then the other thing that I personally really like to do while skiing is when you are linking those carving turns and the railroad track style, so to speak, sometimes you still want to like kick out your tail real quick. Definitely not a skidded or a slarv turn, just more of a slash almost. They did that really well too. So I think it's a combination of the construction, lightweight feel, a little bit of tail rocker in the tail, enough rise in the tail that it's helping you release the edge. And they just do everything really, really well on a groomer. Whether you're linking carving turns on moderate pitch or a steep pitch, they do that really well. It doesn't feel, there are definitely some skis out there like Kesley MX 89s come to mind with full camber. I think it's thicker core profile, probably thicker metal too. Skis like that feel really, really stiff and you can really stand on them. These might not quite have that level of stiffness, but I don't think there are going to be many people out there that push these past their limits. Armada's got Todd Laguerre skiing these, just laying over ripping turns, and if he's not pushing them past their limits, chances are not many other people are either. It's just a little bit of a different feel, which I like. They're lighter, and it also makes them a little more versatile. So, I think this would be a phenomenal mogul ski. Just a really versatile, well-rounded all-mountain ski in general. But like the tip isn't so stiff that it's going to get deflected or just be punishing in moguls. It's definitely going to handle moguls really well. And then I think even though it's not drastically rockered, I think this would be a fun, especially East Coast tree ski too. And then as you move in the widths of this line, if you go up to the 102, that ski's got longer rocker, longer early taper, all that stuff. So it's going to be a little more versatile for Western terrain, or if you're like an East Coast skier that spends more time off-piste than not, then you'd maybe go to that 102. And then contrary, if you spend more time on groomed snow, you go down to that 82, and that's, you really get, you get more extended side cut, less rocker, you're going to get more edge contact basically, and thus more edge grip. Narrower skis are also quicker edge to edge, so if you're really looking for pure carving firm snow performance, you've got that 82 as an option. So great skis from Armada. I like them a lot more than the Invictus line. It's not that I dislike the Invictus line, but I think this Declivity is a really impressive build. It's a really impressive design, and they just did a really good job, and it's very satisfying to ski. And I think it's just so well rounded that I think a lot of different people could enjoy it. Ex-racers will get on it and be like, whoa, that thing rips. And then like a more intermediate level skier could still get on it and they're not going to be punished because it's a little bit more forgiving and allows for different turn shapes and different turn styles than some of the other 2 sheets of metal around 90 all mountain skis. So that's it. That's the Declivity 92. Stick around, watch the interview with Matt if you want a little bit more information on it. Again, I apologize that the audio is not perfect, but you can still hear us, and hopefully you guys find that interesting. I know you like kind of seeing the behind the scenes stuff sometimes, so check that out. Let us know if you have any questions, and we will talk to you soon. Hey skiers, Jeff from SkiEssentials.com. Here at the Outdoor Retailer Trade Show, we're with Armada. We've got a whole new line of skis and a special guest to introduce them. What do you got here?
Thanks, Jeff. My name's Matt Ream. I'm Director of Product over here at Armada. We have a brand new collection for 2021 called Declivity. Kind of a new look at all mountain for us with this complete new range of skis. Last year we started actually with Toph Henry. He's a big mountain skier out of Chamonix.
Yep.
And Toph, he really helped us develop this first ski, Declivity X. And the Declivity X for us, this is the ski that he kind of pushed us to build this badass big mountain ski, something that was very hard chargy, and most importantly something he could trust. Like, I don't know if you've seen him ski before, but
ripping skier.
Yeah, North Face in the Mallory, skiing at 1 trillion miles an hour. I mean, the guy is insane.
Yeah, like competition style skis.
Yeah, exactly. So he kind of built us a product and a mindset that we could take into a full collection. So
awesome.
Kind of figured out the recipe here. This ski was in the Zero collection last year. And then with this being just a product that we can take across the line, we pulled it out of zero and brought it into a full range of skis.
Yeah, so we got three skis.
Yeah, 3 skis for this season. There's an 82 Ti.
92, 102.
Exactly. So
Pretty easy.
Yeah, super easy. It's when you look at the collection, it's all about performance. So these 3 skis have an equal level of performance. It's not like you're getting an inferior product over here. Not dumbing it down. It's got the same build essentially throughout the skis.
Yep.
So we started with a full vertical sidewall, which is really important for us because the line actually has not had a full vertical sidewall product since like,
Armada ski, right?
oh yeah, maybe it was probably 14 years ago. Was the last full vertical sidewall product. So that vertical sidewall obviously gives us the most performance. But what is under the hood is really important with these skis. So
these things down here, right?
Yeah, these things down here. You'll see that's first off a lightweight Karuba core. So Karuba, crazy lightweight, very lightweight. Yeah, it's very lightweight. A lot of performance, typically found in lightweight touring skis. Sometimes found in this all mountain category. But what we did here is you can see there's actually 2 sheets of metal, and the metal in the ski is titanal. That particular material is very damp, very powerful. We wanted to build it a little bit differently though. We kind of want to have the Armada flair and flavor of the product. So you'll see here we have what we call articulated titanal banding. So these kind of cutouts in the metal allow the ski to have a little bit of articulation in softer snow. But the second you load the ski up, you actually get a little compression of the visco layer that sits in between, and that kind of unloads out of the turn. So easy to ski on, yet you load the thing up and you're tons of power.
So it kind of allows the ski to flex into a turn more naturally.
Exactly.
And then just once you're in that turn, it's like, oh, all right.
Yeah,
you're ready to
does
go.
its thing. But really, again, kind of taking the shape that Top developed, kind of adapting it for where we want to use it. So you'll see, like, if we take the 82 there and we compare it to the X, it's a very different shape. But when you kind of go from the X to the 102, you see the similarities. When you go from the 102 to the 92, you see the similarities. When you go to the 92 to the 82, you see the similarities.
So a progressive amount of rocker and early taper.
Yep. So the skis that are more designed, 82, for on-piste skiing, on-trail skiing, a little less rocker, a little bit more kind of aggressive tip shape, kind of bringing the blend point up a little bit further. The skis that are for softer snow, a little longer rocker profile, and then bringing that blend point back just a little bit more smoothness in softer snow conditions.
It's pretty sweet.
It's straightforward product. The stuff rips.
It's cool to see from Armada too.
And that's the thing. We want to grow with the customer. We want to provide. I'm a perfect guy as an example. I started the ski business 16, 17 years ago, right when Armada came on the scene. I was a park guy back then. I still dabble in the park, but I tend to hurt myself.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Now I like high performance ripping. Hard charging skis, and that's what these represent.
Yeah, it turns out just making turns is a lot of fun. It's funny how that works.
Put your hip on the ground. I don't know if you saw that campaign we launched, but we've got Todd Laguerre out. He's got this amazing image where he's like
dragging his hip.
His hip is that far off the ground. When I get that low, I don't come back up.
If I get that low, it's by accident. I hope I get back up. Awesome.
Cool.
Excited to see them, ski them. You'll see some reviews from us soon.
Definitely.
So, thanks, Matt.
Yeah,
appreciate it.